I was promised the camp, and I did not get the camp, and I'm very disappointed.
Down, down, down the road, down the winding road. Down, down, down the road, down the winding road. Wherever it may bend, I see you at the end.
So I'm Justin. Welcome welcome to Cosplay Made Simple. And today I'll be talking about Agatha All Along, episodes 1 and 2. They're on Disney Plus right now. Yeah, I'm super disappointed in Agatha All Along. I'll review them together, the first 2 episodes, because my thoughts are pretty much the same on both. Like, they both have the same kind of issues, and I was super excited for this, and and what makes it even worse is not just that we're not getting a silly and fully serious and campy series. They didn't even commit to like a dark and gritty series. Like, they didn't even commit to doing the thing that I didn't want to do. They just sort of have like one foot in both tones, and that just makes it feel completely disjointed. I don't know who it's supposed to be for. It just tries to do everything and ends up doing nothing. So the trailers definitely made it seem like it was going to be really goofy and over the top.
Heard you guys were having a party.
What's up?
Hey. Shall we?
The bodies are really piling up. Time to finish the road.
Last one there is a nice person.
And we do get some scenes like that, but there are also just as many scenes that are trying to be serious, and it's just not it's just really not anything. Like, it's trying to be both things. That's the biggest problem with Marvel, is that they so desperately try to appeal to like everyone and everyone's preferences that they don't even create something that's a tangible storytelling. Like, they try so hard to appeal to everyone and appeal to no one. And I'll get into in a second some of the other stuff I didn't like besides the tone, but I just want to explain, like, if this had been a really campy series, I would have overlooked all of what I'm about to say. But because it's got enough serious moments, I feel like I do have to analyze it and I do have to judge it. So I wanted to give it a pass, but it wasn't. It was trying to take itself more seriously, at least partly more seriously. So I just can't. A huge part of what makes serious shows good is everyone's motivation. So it's important to have characters who are motivated to do things.
Blaine, maybe I don't need a new friend. JC, maybe you're the only friend I need. Blaine, need or want. JC, I never been much for wanting. Blaine, spoken like someone with needs.
Oh, jeez. Sorry, keep going.
JC reaches out and touches his face. It's clear he needs what she wants. She's a woman. He's a man. The city burns in the background as he takes her in his arms. Fade out. Title. The end. Question mark.
And most of the characters in Agatha Long don't have defined motivations, or they're just like not fleshed out. So, for example, they're all trying to get to the Witch's Road, right? And so each character should need except for maybe Mrs. Hart, because she doesn't know she's going to the Witch's Road. Each character besides Mrs. Hart should have a well-defined reason for wanting to go there. So Jill Locke's character doesn't he said he wants to get powers at the Witch's Road. He wants to levitate, he wants to do all this stuff, but there's no explanation as to why. Like, why does he want to get powers? What does he want to do with them? What is his motivation in trying to get powers? Like, we just don't have answers to any of this, and I think that's a real failure of storytelling. And I do want to make an ask if you're new. I do want to ask to subscribe. I do videos every week, and the two categories of videos that I do are cosplay tips and tutorials and reviews of movies and TV shows. And so if any of that interests you, please hit that subscribe button. So I am trying to build to the number is 500 subscribers to hit that first monetization tier, and my goal is to do that within 5 years. And that's how long it realistically usually takes. And so that's what I'm hoping for. It gives me a little ping of dopamine every time someone new subscribes. So if you'd like to do that for me, don't delay. Subscribe today. And Agatha too. I mean, we know she says she wants to be back on top. She wants to get her powers back, but there's no explanation of what she wants to do with any of those powers once she gets like back on top. Like, does she want to get revenge on Scarlet Witch? Maybe, but we don't know that. Does she want to be a villain and take over things? Maybe, but we don't get any explanation of that. The only Mrs. Hart doesn't know what she's doing, and so I give that a pass. The only character, it's the black female character. That's the only character where we really have a somewhat defined motivation for, where her business is kind of failing. She's got some fraud lawsuits against her, and so if she gets back into witchcraft, then she can get some powers, and she won't have to deal with the kind of legal system. She won't have to deal with going to jail, for example, because she can just use her powers to break out. Like that character is really the only, and maybe the psychic woman. And those are just the minor characters. Like if some of those characters didn't have proper motivations, I would forgive it, because my light just fell. If some of those like side characters didn't have good motivations, I would definitely forgive it. I would say, oh, those are just side characters, but the main characters, we really are focusing on them. But there's just none of that for the main characters. And so I just don't, I'm not rooting for them to succeed, because they don't have a reason that we know of in the episode to want to be doing it. And so I'm not completely writing off the series as like the whole series is going to be bad. Maybe they'll fix some of this in the future episodes, but episodes 1 and 2 just not looking good. Looking like they're tonally all over the place. There's a 17th century term called bathos that was invented by a guy by the name of Alexander Pope. And bathos, as he writes it, is basically when within the same scene. So I think he was talking about in the context of literature, but it's the same in film or TV. Within one scene, bathos is when it's both serious and funny at the same time. And I think there's many, many, many instances of that with Agatha All Along and other Marvel movies, especially like the Avengers movies.
What the hell? What just happened? Please tell me nobody kissed me.
There are examples. There are very few examples of changing tones within stuff that I can like. It's very, very rare. So, for example, Gotham does change a lot of tones, but I think it works because each scene commits to either being serious or funny, and so and Gotham had so many different plot lines that like they're just like different scenes and completely different storylines about different characters, and so in a show like that it could work because they're committing to each scene. They're making a commitment, but here there's just no commitment. Like we just get characters talking back and forth, and at different points in the same conversation they're just sometimes serious or sometimes funny, and you can see this in the music. The music changes quite a lot, and so I wasn't feeling these first two episodes. I'll have to see based on how the series continues if I'm going to keep reviewing it week to week in long form videos, because if I'm just going to be saying this over and over again, like it's already starting to sound repetitive, and so if I keep bringing up the same criticisms every single episode, it's just ultimately not going to be worth it to keep reviewing it. So I won't tell anyone not to watch it, but because people might have different preferences than me, but definitely do not go into this with high expectations. So that's where I'll call it for today. Tell me in the comments, did you like or dislike Agatha All Along? I saw pretty mixed reactions online, and so I think there's a huge chance that like some people will like it, some people won't. And so subscribe if you're new, and I hope to see you again in a future video where hopefully I'll be talking about something that I like